Hey everyone, welcome to episode 10, where today, me and JT, or JT really, is going to be talking about blackworms. And these are so cool, right? So aquarium fish, like discus that you might have seen in angelfish, we feed them, and honestly, like some of the flakes I feed, none of these, I don't think these, but in the flakes, there's blackworm flakes, which are made from these blackworms. And JT was like, they're super easy, and there's nothing better than fresh food, of course. So he's going to show me today how to set up our own blackworm colony, right?
Yeah,
And so, yeah, let's get going. JT, teach me everything. You want to show them what blackworms look like?
yeah. Here you go.
Should we
That's
try to
them.
get like a zoom in on the phone or?
Yeah, let's see if we can do that. They're pretty easy to culture. I started breeding them because I had baby axolotls that, as they got bigger, they really only like to eat moving things, and it can be hard to get them to eat the pellets.
Yeah, yeah.
So breeding these blackworms, as they got bigger, they love them. They're pretty expensive if you want to buy your own, just like a culture of them to buy to feed. But if you're breeding them yourself, it's super easy. I've had this culture for like months. They mostly reproduce asexually, like they break apart into smaller worms, and yeah, you can see the big lump of them there. So they lump together, which makes it pretty easy to collect a whole bunch of them.
Whoa.
And if you look at them really close, they look sick. They're like little segments, and they wiggle around a lot. Whoa.
Let's figure out which of these. It's this guy. Let's see if we can get the microscope working, guys. I think that'd be fun.
So, in nature, they mostly live at the edges of ponds.
That's not gonna work, huh? Yeah.
So they're right at the edge of the water. So the water that they live in is usually pretty shallow. A lot of detritus in there for them to eat. And as they get picked up by birds or whatever, or other things that are trying to eat them, they just break off a piece so that they don't get completely eaten. Oh, that's a cool shot. And they stick their rear end out of the muck to breathe, and if you want to breed them in your fish tank, you'll see them like mixed into the gravel and stuff. But today we're gonna make our own little bin for them. So I got.
Now, are they in all like freshwater aquatic ecosystems in the world? Are they? Where do they come from? What's their origin?
They're mostly the northern hemisphere, from what I've read. There's a few different like species that usually get lumped together. These ones are specifically California blackworms. So they're found in North America, Asia, in freshwater ecosystems.
Sick. All right, so let's. So how hard, like how long before we start, producing these guys, right? So if I get this, like let's say, I mean, my fish would probably eat all those in a day, right?
Yeah.
So how long could I double this? Or
If you want them to breed faster, you can go in with like scissors or something, or if you put gravel in there and just shake it up. The more you get them to break up, the more often they'll.
So they're like what we thought, or like from what I got, like red wigglers. If you break them in half, they're not going to.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't feel like that actually is how it goes.
Yeah.
I feel like they die afterward.
Yeah, these ones you can break into a bunch of pieces, and then they'll heal relatively quickly, and then they'll be however many pieces you broke it into. Really, it's
Okay.
divided into that many worms.
Sweet. Let's so what's the first step? So let's just say you bought these if you don't have a JT in your life like I do. Very lucky. And so you get some blackworms and get a bin.
Yep, I just took a Rubbermaid bin, or whatever brand it is. You want it to be shallow water. They like a lot of oxygen in the water, and they also like it to be pretty clean. So you don't want it to like get too stagnant. You'll want to change the water every once in a while, or if you have a little filter in there, that works. I have here as their substrate, we can do paper towel. This is just like the 1-ply regular paper towel that you have in the bathroom.
So you're saying like as a substrate, basically, when you say substrate, like putting on the ground, is it just something they're going to cling on? There's none in here, right? So yeah, show me.
So I'm gonna just rip up some strips of paper towel for them.
You use toilet paper.
Toilet paper would be too fragile, I think. This is gonna like stick together in the water for a while. And this is gonna be a surface for different microorganisms to cling onto, and they really eat like yeasts and algae and just like decaying stuff. So if you have more surface area for the microorganisms to grow on, the worms are gonna eat that.
Just tip this guy down a little so that way we can kind of put a little more of that on.
So we got that all set. I like to have duckweed in my culture just because it will absorb like the nitrates and stuff in the water, and you can go a little bit longer without doing water changes or worrying about them getting. So they use them for toxicology studies because they're really good at reacting to impurities in water. So if you like let the water get too dirty, you'll notice that they start to like slow down and look like they're not feeling very well. And that's how they study it. Really, they'll put like medications or chemicals into the water, and they'll watch for how well they react. So you see how they're like moving around pretty quickly.
Let's switch back to this guy. I know we need to get some cool cameras so we can take like microscope. What's up, Mike? Just saw that. Good evening, my friend. We need a Mike on this show. Mike, if you're ever interested in, sitting in on the show with us, we'd love to have you. He's an amazing guy. Super smart, knows a little bit about everything. A lot about everything, I should say. Yeah, so let's see. Sorry, I haven't switched over. Let's get in there. So, that's fascinating. So, if I ever want, could I ever, if this was integrated with my fish tank, let's say, right? I could have a little, chamber, like a filter, and I could monitor them for ultimately the health of the entire aquarium, you're telling me? Like, if they start getting wild, I could almost be able to know there's toxins in there.
So if they start, slowing down, normally they'll be, see how they're moving pretty quick, they'll have their little tails out of whatever substrate you have.
Sorry, guys.
Some people actually, that's how they do it. They have a little separated tank attached to their aquarium that just sits on the edge or something so the fish can't eat them.
That right there.
Yeah, but see how they're kind of pretty active. They're moving around and stuff.
Yeah, they're definitely active.
And then if you a
couple renegades in there. Most of them are just clustering a ball. Now I've noticed with earthworms, when they start clustering in a ball like that, it's a bad thing.
That's normal for these guys.
Okay.
They're just looking for something to hold on to while they're sort of on a bare surface. But you see how when I touch them, they freak out like that?
Oh, cool.
So that's like a reflex, and that one just broke. They break apart pretty easy, and that's how they reproduce.
Hey, Mandy. Mandy's out in Colorado with the kiddos. Having fun.
So they don't like to be picked up, and they'll try to escape pretty quickly. And if the water's too toxic for them, they sort of slow down, and they don't really try to get away as much.
Okay, so they're healthy right now.
Yeah.
And so toxins to them, what is toxic to them? Can they live in, do they need similar parameters as a tropical fish tank, low nitrates, or can they tolerate more
They can tolerate some. They like to have pretty clean water. Room temperature is ideal for them. Some people keep them in the refrigerator because it's they don't want to do as many water changes. So if you don't want them to be breeding and you don't want to do water changes, you can keep them in the fridge and they'll be a little bit slower. But if you want to have an actively breeding colony, then keep them at room temperature and they'll be good.
trying to get a better shot, but my zoom doesn't quite work that close. That's good. Oh yeah, look at him go.
And
All right, so now how long would it take, right? So if I do everything perfect, right?
Yep.
How long would it take to double, triple, whatever, you know? What's the growth? I think I asked this, but I wasn't...
Oh yeah, so they'll probably heal and be twice as many worms if you cut them all in half in like a week.
Wow.
So you'll have twice as many, and then they'll start growing. Like these are all pretty long. I haven't chopped them up or anything for a while.
So that's literally the way you
Yeah.
propagate these, is by chopping them up.
Yeah. Or even if you grab them, they'll just break apart into like more worms.
Weird. All right, so I could literally just get a pair of pruning shears and start chopping these guys up.
Yeah, and that's what most people do to get them to breed faster, like to have a bigger colony.
Now, from what do you think their experience in that is like? It's like reproduction is usually a favorable thing for most species. Now, that's an asexual reproduction, you know, they're cloning themselves, but
Yeah.
do they reproduce sexually as well? Or
They can reproduce sexually.
in the wild, are there animals cutting them in half? Or like...
I think if something's trying to eat them, that's why they're able to survive that way.
Cool.
Because whatever part is eaten gets eaten, and then whatever part doesn't get eaten is swimming away really quick, trying to survive.
How much do you need to like make a new worm?
I think you only need 8 segments.
Okay, how many segments are in each worm?
A lot. So I was looking at them with a microscope earlier, and like you can see the segments pretty well if you look with the microscope camera, but it is hard on here. I wonder if we can look at them on like the regular microscope camera.
Do you want to try?
Yeah.
All right, cool. If you want, I can start getting the regular microscope going.
Yeah.
And
I will continue to talk about how we're going to set up their breeding colony.
cool. Should I switch to this? And then
Yeah, let's do that.
and instead we could do...
Oh, yeah. It's a good idea. Have like the zoom in on them.
You can change this to being that camera. Fancy.
Nice. So in a science lab, usually what they'll do is...
Look, my head's worms.
Yeah, worm head.
Yeah.
You got worms in your head.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, why does everyone say that's a bad thing? So they'll keep them either in like a sandy substrate and feed them tropical fish flakes. So we can feed them these. It's basically high nutrition. And if you let them continue to grow instead of cutting them up, they might make egg cysts. It's not really documented very well and not really observed very often that you'll have eggs in your colony. So probably the easiest way to reproduce is to chop them up.
So you're mentioning... Sorry, I'm probably off the audio now. You were mentioning that they can breed, they're from North America, right?
Northern Hemisphere.
Northern Hemisphere, so cold climates, but they prefer kind of moderate temperatures.
Yep.
Could you, if they're frozen, refrigerated, is there ever, I guess what I'm getting at is like, if they're in the Northern Hemisphere, they're dealing with non-room temperature climate.
Yeah, so like these ones are from California. And like
They can't handle it.
Yeah,
they can't handle this New England weather.
Yeah, they can handle being refrigerated, and they just sort of slow down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But if you freeze them, I don't know that they'd survive that.
Yeah, because even in the Northern Hemispheres, if something digs deep and in the mud, they're not going to freeze usually.
Yeah, because the water doesn't freeze all the way through to the ground.
Yeah, okay. So they kind of go dormant and slow.
Yeah. So they like a good amount of oxygen in the water. So I grabbed some of this out of your fish tank. This is just fish tank water. It's got some duckweed in it. That's fine. It'll absorb any nitrates and stuff that ends up in the water as they eat and poop in the water. This is a little bit too shallow, maybe. I'd maybe add a little bit more water than this, but it doesn't have to be super deep. They like it pretty shallow because they want to be able to breathe. And that makes it easier to collect them too if you're keeping it more on the shallow side. So I'm going to add this air stone.
All right. Should I switch to this now?
And then kind of show.
Yeah.
Is that better for people?
How's that?
Good. Or maybe even check that out. So yeah, you were mentioning shallow is key.
Yeah, it's easier to keep the water oxygenated that way. They can sort of move around pretty well, get to the surface if they need a little bit more air.
Yeah, I can move that too if you want to tuck this a little tighter right there. Maybe you can see it better.
Yeah, there we go.
We're learning.
What some people also do is have either gravel or sand in the bottom, and they like to burrow in the sand. It makes them feel safe, maybe.
Yep.
Gravel, if you have a lot of gravel in the bottom, it helps them break up more often, because if they get like pinched between some of the pieces of gravel, they'll just break in half and have two worms now.
Got it.
And also, if you just like sort of tip
So
it back
literally
and
you're
forth,
using the gravel as a way to propagate them. Like,
yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, so you can just like sort of shake up the bucket of them, and the pieces of gravel will pinch them, and they'll just break in half because it's like their defense mechanism and their asexual reproduction.
So cool. I definitely messed up the camera angle. That's kind of.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I'm probably overthinking it. That's cool. So you said temp. So all you need is an air stone. Keep it room temp.
Yep.
And how often you want to feed them?
I usually feed them maybe like every 3 days or so. I just give them like a little pinch of food, maybe some sinking algae pellets. Just like that. Yeah.
Cool. That's super easy.
Yeah, they don't eat a ton. Another thing that I like to do for mine, I culture this algae. This is Chlorella vulgaris. It needs some light to reproduce, so if you have like a light cycle on them, if you keep them near maybe one of your flood tables because they already have light, the algae will do well. They'll eat the algae, and other stuff will eat the algae over time. So I don't know if you want to breed any more of this algae somewhere else, but
Yeah.
they seem to like it. I'm going to put a little bit in with them. They should already have some in there.
Now, do you think shrimp would like that too?
Yeah, shrimp should be able to eat it. Whenever I dump some in with my shrimp, they seem to like start grabbing.
Oh, you have
at the-
shrimp?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I've given you shrimp.
You
That's
gave me
right.
the shrimp.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a shrimp tank and a scud tank.
Cool.
The scuds and the shrimp are together. And then in my scud tank, I tossed a couple of these worms a while ago. And if I pick up the dirt at all, there's just a ton of these worms in there.
That's awesome.
I think did I send you the video that I took of them?
No.
I was just like looking in my scud tank and I noticed like some little things sticking out of the dirt. And so I like looked really close and took a video, zoomed in, and it's just a bunch of these worms just waving around in the soil.
That's sick.
And it's just muck that I shake off of my fish tank filter.
Wow. It's so fun. I feel like I had worms like that. I feel like a lot of my microbial population's been disappearing for some reason lately. And it's not like I'm not seeing as many scud, fewer shrimp, not seeing many blackworms. Because I feel like I was seeing some worms like that on occasion, but I don't know.
You want to see what's living in the muck in here on the microscope?
Yep. All right, we got our microscope. Brush the dust off.
Toss a little bit of that in there.
Wow, this slide we forgot on is still got water on it. It's still wet. Almost wanna.
Let's see if anything's alive in there.
Nah, well, maybe later. Maybe later. I don't know. That could be a rabbit hole.
But yeah, it'll definitely be it.
Cool.
Slide.
I think we have a microscope. Just give us 1 sec, everyone.
Slide and pipette. And I brought some Reinberg filters if we want to look at things under different light. Like that. While you're setting that up, I'm going to make a slide.
Here we go. Nice. That seems to be. Okay.
All the worms are trying to get away from you.
Cool. Well, I guess while we're waiting, we can see if there's anything cool in this. I'm putting that slide that was on previous.
Oh, here's a little baby worm. Maybe
Really?
this one did come out of an egg. This is
Ooh.
tiny.
All right, let's switch over. Get out of here. I'll let you do the mic. Still.
Yeah.
Should we turn the bubbler off just because it might be making a lot of
Yeah, it's
noise?
an annoying sound.
Oh, and I gotta fix the seconds. All right. How's the audio? All right, good. We fixed it. Whoa. Pissed.
See if you can see any of the segments on there. Let's try to escape.
So you'll see segments, just lines.
Yeah, it's just little tiny lines. There we go.
Oh.
You know what might make it better? Let's bust out one of these filters. These I got to the microcosmos. It is
Thanks, Mandy.
a science, a cool YouTube channel that I like. Hank Green does it, but he had on his shop Reinberg filters for your microscope. So I guess I'll give the cool nerd show a shout out.
Very cool. So I'm trying to find some blackworm segments to show them on my screen share. This is on preview mode, so you can actually, that's not what they're saying, but this, let me see. We might actually. Nope. So that's what you get. It's really dark. Can't see anything. Let me see. Maybe which one of these would be, out of curiosity, the right blackworm segment? If what would be a good visual? Any of these?
I would just type in California blackworm.
California blackworm. All right, so this. So this one right here, so this one right here, is this kind of, I got this on my computer right now. Is that kind of,
Yeah.
okay. So that's cool. So open image in new tab. Let's see. So right there, right, like this is kind of,
That's all the segments.
okay.
And they have like a color filter on there so you can see it a little different.
Okay.
So we're going to start you with one single worm.
Nice.
That way we
That's
can
actually kind of fun.
Actually.
I mean, one, I get to attach to it.
Yeah, so, well,
Wait,
then you...
yeah.
So I think we should start a big culture and then see how many we can get from maybe like 2 worms in like a smaller culture.
Gotta pull things back.
Okay. Do you want to see if we can like start from 1 and see how many we end up with?
Sure. I'm not gonna say no. That sounds fun to me.
Let's see what's living in there with them, what they've been munching on for the last couple of months.
All right, should we switch to microscope?
Yeah. Let's. Oh, something's zooming around.
Whoa, what was that?
It's going so fast.
If there's anything, can I do something? I'm gonna try to make it so they're a little more visible. The saturation. What do you think, gamma? All right, we lost everything. Oh, yeah. So what are we seeing that's zooming by? Oh, there's something too. Wow. What would that be? That's a
Some little amoeba.
zip zoomeroonie.
Yeah, a zooming guy.
Yeah. right. We don't see it anymore. So is there still a blackworm on this?
Oh no, I took the blackworm off.
Oh, we're just looking around what they're eating.
Yeah.
What they eat. So this is, would these things that we're seeing here be competitive with them? Are they eating the same stuff?
I think they're eating some of the same stuff, but they're also probably getting eaten. They're pretty small, so I think that the worms are just sort of munching on whatever comes into their mouth.
Cool.
This thing.
Yeah, you knew what I was trying to do. It's hard to get good. Just open that and then turn this. Well, all right, let's start the culture, I guess. People out there probably want to see it. And so if we're switching back here.
So we got our worms, we got our water. I sprinkled in some food. Let's get them a good start. Toss in some more. Bam!
Blackworm pizza.
Just like Mama used to make.
Just like.
All right, let's see. Oh, this is going on. What is... It's like... Is it moving?
No, it's just doing weird stuff.
What is... I think it might be our software that's doing that automatically. All right, so we got fish flakes. And we got worms. So you put them all in. We're sending it.
Send it.
I think that's a good idea. We could do little cups with just one lonely blackworm and have a competition who can make the most blackworms.
Yeah. Most out of one.
Yeah. Now, are there any performance enhancing things we could add to this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gravel.
Gravel?
That's what I think, because it breaks it up.
Oh, yeah, that's what you told me. All right, so there's some
or you
sharp
could-
gravel.
Yeah.
It's funny, literally, I was setting up a new home for Pleco, so it's like they'd want the reverse. I was like looking, they want smoother, sandier, soft stuff.
Yep.
So we want
Oh,
broken glass. Can we just smash some glass and throw in there?
Yeah, that seems safe.
Okay.
Especially if,
Then feed it to our animals.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
So they're gonna end up crawling all over these paper towels and stuff.
Okay.
All the food is gonna settle out, microbes are gonna grow, and all that. We'll have the air stone in there to provide oxygen for them. You can see they're already starting to like separate out and explore.
Now, if there's an air stone in there, why do we have to keep it shallow?
That's just the advice I was given, or have read.
I read the same thing.
I think if you keep an air stone in there, you probably don't need to keep it shallow.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you don't need an air stone necessarily?
Probably not. As long as you're keeping it shallow. If you're keeping it deeper, I would put an air stone just in case.
Yeah.
But
So I could just... Yeah, if I just stuck this box in the corner and didn't touch it for a month, I'd probably want a lid on so it wouldn't dry out.
yeah,
Do you think it would be all right? Or would it do much
Yeah.
better with the air stone?
I bet it would be all right because I put the algae in there. If it had light, I bet they'll keep enough.
Movement?
Yeah.
Subtle movement? Cool. Awesome. Is there anything else we should cover on this? Or I'm excited. We'll follow back on it and see how this
Yeah.
blackworm colony's doing.
Do you want to see how I would chop them up if I was?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. I will grab just a pair of pruning shears.
All right.
Oh, another thing. They all spread out eventually when they have like more surface area, but when I want to collect them, I just basically, well, I just sort of go like this and make it like circulate around, and then they eventually you'll find a clump of them or something. I would just shove all the paper towels to the side and just do this a bunch for the turkey baster.
Nice. So do you want me to go get some gravel for you while you're doing this? Or?
Yeah, do you want gravel in this one?
Sure. Should I get like, I have some aquarium gravel that's kind of like a little ridgy. You want me to show you?
Yeah, that
I
sounds
think it's
perfect.
probably good for it.
You know what I have in mind?
What?
Activated charcoal. I just broke
Biochar? Or an old activated charcoal bag? Or
it's some of the biochar that you gave me.
okay. Cool. Should I just get some biochar?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's easy.
But I think you can kind of see how they're starting to climb. Yeah, it's been doing really well. I mean, I've had these ones for months, and this is just like a small portion out of my collection. And on camera, you can see here where they all started to clump up because it was swirling. And then you can just slurp them up. And now you have a turkey baster full. He's going to grab the gravel or the biochar, but what I will do, I'm going to get them to pile up there again. So if you don't have the charcoal or whatever set up, I just grab scissors, and you can sort of go.
Now, do you want like fresh biochar, or should I get some stuff that's been used up for a bit? It's gonna make it all black.
Yeah, I would. If you have some used or some rinsed off stuff. But just going snipping them up. And so this is how they mostly reproduce. So as you snip them up, you're going to have more worms. I read that they don't really have pain receptors, so this isn't like a horrible experience for them. It's just probably startles them, and then they swim off and they heal. And then over here you can see that they're kind of climbing all over the paper towels pretty well. I think they like the surface area and the texture, so they can really like grab onto it. And there's this right here is a clump of food that they seem to be burrowing into. Yeah, they're all sort of surrounding pieces of food all over. And so the duckweed, if it starts to die, you know, it's not a big deal because they're going to eat the pieces that break up and fall in, and it'll absorb the nitrates as it's growing in there. Mine seems to do really well with a bunch of duckweed on the top. Don't have an issue like how we seem to have had an issue with duckweed and the shrimp, but
yeah, my worry's been with duckweed is that it kind of chokes out the oxygen.
yeah, it absorbs the nitrate. It might choke out the if it grows like too much over the top, you might have an issue.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. I've seen when like the movement stops, all of a sudden, like it's really quick that every creature, if something fails with a duckweed cover, everyone starts going to the surface real quick.
Yeah, and I guess you'll see.
But that's when it gets real thick.
Yeah, and you'll see that the worms are starting to slow down. And so if they start slowing down before,
That makes sense. So I got some biochar, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
Switch it. I'll show you guys. So this was in a planter, so it's wet and kind of what's going on.
oh, there's a scud here.
Does that not work?
So let's try that. All right, so I got some. There's a scud in there. Cool. See that? So that's some biochar was in a planter. Should I just dump it in?
Yeah.
Like this. All right. Oh, just anyway. Is that enough? Do you want more?
Oh, that should be fine.
Cool. Just something. I also
Yeah.
brought some aquarium gravel. I don't know if you want more of this, like for
Yeah.
put a little in there.
Yeah.
A little flavor. I'll show you guys. It's sizzling. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Show you guys. This is aquatic life microbe pond concentrate aquatic planting media. So it looks like this, and I thought this would be good because it kind of feels a little sharp. Not sure if that fizzing is a good thing.
Yeah, it just looks like it's air bubbles coming out.
Yeah. It's done well by the fish tank, so.
Sweet. And they don't seem too stressed out by it or anything, so. And yeah, if you have gravel, you can sort of just shake it up. And as they like bump into each other or the gravel pinches the worms, that'll break them. And you'll have more worms. Infinite worm glitch.
It's the devil's dance for them. Cool. What else should we
Yeah, so I would
just let it be? Yeah, what's my next steps? Give me a what do I have to do, a to-do list?
So I just keep it with some light because we put the algae in there to try to give them food and oxygen.
Okay.
So if you put it in a place with some good light, they should be good. Make sure it doesn't evaporate.
Is it too much light, or is it just kind of like moderate?
Just moderate. I think if you have
Like maybe next to the turret cloner over there?
Yeah.
All right. So kind of like seedling level light.
yeah.
All right, cool. Sweet.
I mean, I put my aquarium light on top of mine at
Oh,
night.
wow. Okay. So give it some light. All right.
Algae likes the light.
Cool. I could even sit it then somewhere. Let me think. Where should we put it? Yeah, you want the cloner. It's next to the cloner should be good. It's pretty bright over there.
Yeah, and it's probably you turn off the lights at night,
Yeah.
turn them on in the day.
Well, awesome. All right, let's move that over, and we can catch up on some old stuff if you want.
Do you want
Oh yeah, let's do that. I forgot all about
to
that.
culture some of this?
I would love that.
Teach
Teach me. Let's duplicate that.
So what I have at home is just a water bottle or a bunch of water bottles filled with water, some jacks.
Really?
Yeah, I just every once in a while I put in like once a week maybe put in a pinch of jacks, and then shake it up.
Algal blooms.
Algal blooms.
And then you feed that in.
I feed that in before I give jacks. So let it eat up all the jacks for like a week. Then you give it to the worms. If you give them the fertilizer, that'll probably hurt them.
Okay. Don't put the fertilizer straight. This is Telly, my boss. Okay, sweet.
But yeah, I just give them a little bit of fertilizer, the algae a little bit of fertilizer once a week.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, let's do that, man. Show me that. Should we get a water bottle or
so
a ball jar?
yeah, you know what? You're gonna have this air. Well, are you gonna do the air stone with these guys?
Yeah.
I do a ball jar with an air stone
And that?
and this
Okay.
to grow algae.
And then pour that in there. And then that's their feeder.
Yeah, they probably don't need any more algae, but if you're trying to feed like your other stuff, and if you think they get a little bit, if it doesn't look very green in the bottom there, I'd just toss in a little bit extra.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You want me to quickly grab a ball jar and a little bit? How much fertilizer? Yeah, let me grab
Just
a
like a
little
pinch.
All right, cool. Let me grab that. Again, make sure you're doing a really cool dance for everyone.
Yeah. I'm doing the worm. Yeah, at home I have like a 4-liter Erlenmeyer flask, usually with air stone in it, right under my window or something. Right now I don't have a good angle for the sunlight, but in the summer I keep it in the window and it the algae loves it. This stuff is supposed to be a superfood. They sell it like dried so you can eat it. It's supposed to be high in vitamins, but I just like to feed it to my bugs so that I can feed my axolotls. The axolotls really like the blackworms. They like to have the scuds. Other microorganisms or small organisms will eat this stuff too. I was doing Moina and Daphnia. What else were there? Mostly the Daphnia and the Moina will eat the algae really quick because they do like filter feeding with like little feathery things that they swim around with. I think the scuds will eat it. Shrimp will eat it too. Basically the same for any kind of algae that you're going to grow. A little bit of fertilizer. Mostly you need light circulation for it to grow. You can do
Good, bud.
depending.
Clean water.
Thank you.
Let me go get some fertilizer.
The pH closer to neutral is pretty much what you want for the algae. Neutral to more alkaline, so a little bit higher than, you don't want acidic. It doesn't like to grow as well in acidic water. It'll be darker green when it's a lower pH. And
So I just want to dump all this right now. I'm just kidding.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Sorry. All right. This is some jack. Sorry. I dropped you
Oh, no worries.
for a bad joke. Here, I'll move this guy out. I think we're done with this one.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, you might not have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you might want to. Here, let me get you something. Paper towel, sir?
Oh, yeah, that'll do.
Water, maybe?
Yeah, so I basically just like, thanks. Just like a little pinch into the water. See how light it you can't even really tell on the camera, maybe.
Okay.
It's a little bit blue.
I was thinking about doing it without air stones. A, because I'm kind of curious, and B, because there are so many air stones in this place
Yeah.
that it's making my head go crazy sometimes. It's like everywhere.
Then, if you're not doing air stones, every once in a while, I just shake the jar, maybe. You can keep the top open, actually. That'll be fine.
Well, Sarah asked a question. What's up, Sarah? How large of a piece does the worm need to be able to regenerate?
I'm pretty sure.
You said 9 segments, right? Did you say that?
I think I said 8.
Let's ask ChatJT.
Let's fact check it.
ChatJT.
Where's the button?
Oh boy. Oh yeah, fact check. Yeah, hit that fact check sound. Yep. How many segments of a California blackworm are needed to regenerate a worm? Let's see. How many segments? California blackworms have remarkable regenerative abilities. Okay, the interior end, the head region, if the worm is cut near the head, the remaining segments must include at least 5 to 10 segments to successfully regenerate the rest of the body, including the tail. Posterior end, the tail, can regenerate a new head, but typically requires at least 40 to 50 segments. So this is interesting. If the worm is cut in the middle, both halves can regenerate as long as each piece retains a sufficient number. Well, how many segments are in a worm? Segments are in a complete worm, right?
Yeah, I think a mature one has a lot more, because it's going to be however many you cut off. So it needs 5 to 10 for the head to be able to survive.
So 150 to 250.
That's a mature one.
Yeah, I love how it's just like vague. It's like, yeah, I'll have this many
What is-
segments. That's cool.
I wonder how long we can make one. Hi, Telly. How
Oh.
does everyone see
So
me?
Telly's here tonight with us. She's a guest. She's my pup. She's a puppy that's 16 years old, and she's awesome. Sonny's also here somewhere. He's 3, and he's wandering around. They're keeping us company. And yeah, so if I just put that in light now, leave the top off. I'm guessing.
Yeah, so it can breathe.
And if I put an air stone in it, it'd be interesting to do an experiment, seeing side by side how much of a difference it made.
Yeah, my Erlenmeyer flask that I used to have set up in my I had it in my sunroom, just in the window.
Yeah.
With an air stone.
And it worked.
It was like
Crushing it.
yeah, every other day or so I would be able to like harvest a bunch and then
And
make like a ball of it.
What were you doing with it?
I was just feeding it to my like scuds and my worms,
Sick.
and then I was feeding those to my axolotls,
It's a whole ecosystem.
and those was feeding me.
You ate axolotls?
No,
That'd be expensive.
yeah, but
Illegal?
probably, but like
Because they're an endangered species.
yeah, and they grow their limbs back though, so you can just
That's true. That's cool.
yeah. I don't think that would be ethical though.
Yeah, it feels something really upsetting about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is not reasonable because people eat other creatures.
Yeah, but the axolotls are cuter.
Yeah, you can't eat cute things.
Yeah, and they're friendly. They
Except
like
for
have
veal.
good personality, surprisingly. For like you wouldn't expect an amphibian to be like personable.
Do they have personalities really just look like they do? Because I don't know axolotls. My kids wanted them, but I was like, they look like they're smiling, but don't really have personalities. But tell me otherwise.
Mine come like when I come in the room, they like swim over to the glass and like
That's
put
cool.
their hands on the side and like look at me. So
That's pretty unique for an amphibian.
yeah, they might just want food, but they like seem
But even that, I don't remember caring for an amphibian that did that.
yeah.
Do you? I mean, have you ever?
It's not like a salamander. My frogs, yeah,
Frogs can be pretty cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I like frogs. I mean, I like axolotls. I like salamanders, but I've never heard of that. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, salamanders.
People love their axolotls, so I get it.
Yeah.
You know.
And my 2 that I had in a tank together used to just like chill together. They'd like go find each other to like hang out, and they just like sit with each other or like lay on top of each other.
There goes Sonny. Yeah, I mean, you're one of the only people I know who actually knows how to care for axolotls. Like, I was looking into it, and you need to keep the temps below like 65, right?
Yeah,
And it's like that's my Ben wanted one. I was like, we need a chiller. There's a lot of equipment
I have a
needed to
chiller.
do it right. Yeah, you bought a chiller.
Yeah,
Here, yeah, forgot about that. So I mean, I have a chiller sitting around, but I was like, this seems like another headache for me.
yeah. Well, so before I got the chiller, I was just freezing like really big ice cubes, like a bunch of them, or I would fill like a whole like a Ziploc freezer bag with water and freeze that.
That's incredible.
Like a bunch of them, and then throughout the day I would swap them out.
That's dedication, man.
Yeah, so it was too warm, so then I got the chiller. Don't have to worry about it.
Life changing.
Yeah, so much easier. Don't
That's
have
cool.
to worry, oh man, the temperature's getting pretty hot. I look at my watch to see the temperature getting hot because I have a watch, I guess.
I mean, I have a fridge with a glass door. Just put a fish tank in there.
Or turn it into a fish tank.
That's cool.
Yeah, they like really clean water though. They don't like nitrates like at all.
I've heard that they're like from like a mountain.
Yeah, so they probably have like
Lake.
fresh spring water all the
Yeah.
time. Or at least the plants in there are cleaning it out.
Well, yeah, you think if you're at the top of the mountain, it's not a lot of plants
Yeah.
uphill from there, and the ones that are going to take every little bit of nutrient they can. So that makes sense. So all right, cool. So we got that settled. We got this. Do we want to follow up on some of the stuff or anything else? By the way, sorry, I know I keep saying that. I'm not trying to rush us forward at all.
Yeah. How are our mushrooms doing?
Sarah agrees that axolotls. I'm assuming she's talking about axolotls are so friendly.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta come by
Fonzie.
and meet your. What are their names?
Fonzie and Pinky.
Fonzie and Pinky. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's
and
good
then I
names.
have Salt and Pepper.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have babies.
Yeah, they had babies.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Pretty cute.
So yeah, on to the next thing. Let's go check out how things are going. The mushrooms look awesome. All right, let's switch to the phone.
And you want me to follow you around? That way we can kind of
Why don't I follow you around?
All right, cool.
Because you know what's going on in here.
I do. Well, it's funny because I kind of held off from messing with stuff with you coming in. I was going to.
Is that the live?
Yeah.
Do we want to get rid of the corner thing?
Oh yeah. Let's. All right. Here we can plug this back up too. So let's see. Yeah, these things are blowing up, and it's interesting. Whoa. I mean, even throughout today. These are cool. Look at these guys. Should I pull a block out?
Yeah.
Look at that. And it's so cool. I was so worried. So I saw them blowing up, and this is happening over here, right? These guys are inside. But the ones that have actually made it out of the bag, look how good they look.
Which one is that?
These are supposed to be blue oyster. Oh, what? Which one? This is the one with potato. Now, could I eat these just like this?
I think so.
All right, let me try. I think so too. Oh,
How's it taste?
tastes delicious. Now that was not. I should have used scissors. I just abused that thing. But that's nice. They're just. This probably is like a good time to maybe even harvest. Maybe a little longer.
Oh,
I do see like half of it's in the bag, and I was wondering, should we just like rip the bag open, or?
Yeah, just rip the top off. Are you keeping the humidity up in there?
Oh, it tastes so good.
Does it taste like garlic? Or onion, was it?
Tastes like garlic potato. No, I'm just kidding. It tastes like mushrooms. It tastes like an oyster mushroom. It's delicious oyster mushroom. Really fresh. Like it's one of the like good oyster mushrooms. Like you taste them, like you know the flavors kind of keeps coming. Let's see. This one's starting to blow up too. But I will say, without a question, right? You can see like that potato really seems to have given some.
Yeah, it was
on there.
It was
It's a little heavier.
beating the others.
Here's the control. Doing much less. And there's slits on this, right? They're just not finding it. So without question, I mean, that potato really seems to have impacted things.
Is there anything growing in there?
They're starting to pop in here.
Oh, inside the top,
Which is... Yeah, maybe I'm worried because then the humidity... I mean, what do you think? What should we do? Sleep on it?
Is there a way to keep the humidity high in there? Like...
So this fan is supposed to be hooked to a humidity. It's hooked to a humidity controller.
Okay.
So I can set it to, but then I am worried. Like it's nuts. If I turn this, the CO2 goes up so quickly as soon as I turn it off.
You know what? You know how you can increase humidity in a tank like that? An air stone inside of a jar of water.
That's true. That is true.
And we have that algae there that will need CO2. And it'll produce oxygen for them.
I mean, you know what it is? That feels like if we put that in there, it's just going to get gross. You know what I mean? It's going to get messy.
What if we
Because
just
these guys
put
already
the
do
jar?
produce a good amount of humidity, to your point.
Yeah.
I
What's
don't
the humidity
think-
level?
Humidity is currently, it's at 90%. Oh, wait. Oh, wow, it's only at 22% right now. That can't be accurate. Maybe. So maybe I do need to connect this, because that is really low. So there is, it doesn't make sense. I'll need to get a different monitor. But,
Oh, what's this?
maybe it is. I guess that makes sense. Leave that in there for a while and we'll check it. Let's think about this one. But yeah, we need to figure something out because they're definitely bursting the bag. I think we could have prevented it if we had like flattened it and not left that big air bubble above. I think that's what's
Right.
causing that issue.
If we kept
right?
it like folded over.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of how the other ones came out so well. But or we could have just taken the blocks out altogether and so maybe that's what we do. Maybe I'll just maybe we sleep on and do it tomorrow. It'll take a while to get that going right now. We don't have the stuff. Yeah, what else do we want to check? This is the pink oysters that we set up. I haven't looked at these at all. Let's take a peek, see if we see anything. I don't know if that looks good. What do you think? Does that look like contaminant or mushroom? What is those mushrooms?
What is that?
This doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel like what we want. I don't know about you. How are yours doing? Did you bring your pink mushroom?
Oh, I didn't bring it with me, but it was like fully inoculated. And
Oh no,
then-
I mean like, is at your house? Is it doing all right? Or?
Yeah, yeah. Like the whole like jar looked white,
Really?
and then I shook it up to break it up, and I added some algae.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
Live algae. I don't know yet. I did it yesterday.
So it's going all right though.
Yeah.
So mine, I wish I'd brought mine in because it's totally pink. And I gotta say though, I will say like if you guys are interested, this is amazing how well this is working. I'm really excited, minimally, that like these oyster mushrooms were so easy to propagate. This looks great. Figuring out the next step of like fruiting them from this bag.
Yeah, I think if the top was like pushed down and we didn't leave the big air gap.
We probably should have done that. Maybe taped it over, cut holes, or flipped it. Maybe even something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or just rip the whole thing open and put it on a bed. Yeah, you gotta figure that out. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
What would happen if I put, like, to keep the moisture up? Because I'm worried about putting like an air stone, just creating a new headache to clean afterward
If you
too.
just had like a jar of water.
What if I put the like a Monty tray in with wood? What if I took a Monty, like one of these trays? This is what I'm thinking, right? And put that in there with wood that was soaked and pasteurized, and just sat them in there. I think that would increase the humidity a bit.
Yeah, it's just like moist sawdust.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna think about it and figure it out tomorrow. But it's nice keeping this clean. Like I don't want to create too much of a mess.
Yeah.
And I'm worried with like the algae, it's gonna introduce. I don't know. All right.
So yeah, I added algae because I was listening to someone talk about it's like doing its own zoom thing. So I think it whatever is like moving, it's gonna try to focus on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and let's show. You want to show the clones?
Yeah.
Check this out, guys.
I was listening to someone talk about new information that they're learning about. What is it called? Lichens.
Really?
Yeah, because lichens are a symbiotic relationship, usually between a fungus, like a mushroom type fungus, and a algae, photosynthesize, or a cyanobacteria. And sometimes they have like yeast or bacteria mixed in there, but usually it's at least a photosynthesizing species of microalgae or cyanobacteria and a fungus, which
Hold this for
usually-
just 1 second. Talk to it because I just want to
Yeah.
make sure it's working. And obvious.
Yeah, and usually it's the fungus is one that's like related to morel mushrooms, which is interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Great.
So I doubt that it'll do anything, but at the very least, maybe the algae will survive and grow and then die, and the mushroom will eat the dying algae. I don't know that it'll be a symbiotic thing, but they might survive separately together.
This is why just every conversation I have with JT fascinates me. He's always up to something that I would never even thought of. And I thought of out there ideas, but that's super cool, man.
Oh, I don't know what'll happen, but
Let's find out.
we'll find out.
Well, yeah, and if it works, man, then we'll try. All right, let's. You want to pop the bottom, or here? If you want to hold this,
Yeah, plug this in. Let's do this. I feel like this leaf has gotten bigger. Let's see. Does it have roots? The dome. Just off.
Flies. Hey, there's some roots.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Mandy added some fertilizer in. Okay. The seams are definitely starting to come loose, which is a bummer. So
It's interesting because it's like weatherproof stuff.
yeah.
Hey, that the pitcher plant looks like it's doing really well. I don't see any roots.
It's
around
starting.
it.
It looks like it's getting bumps, which is cool. Oh, that's not good. All right, well, I just messed that up. That's one bummer. So I got to figure out the weather stripping on this design, but it's because it's coming loose. Let's see this guy. Oh yeah, look at those roots.
Oh wow, it's a
I don't know
lot
if
of
you guys
roots.
See that? But these cloners have been working awesome. I've been super excited about that.
Nice.
So all's well.
How's the graft?
The cactus graft?
Yeah.
It took.
Oh, nice.
It took.
What's his name?
JT.
Oh no.
I mean, we have a plant named Commander that's a graft, right?
Yeah, there can
Or
only be
actually, I
one.
don't know if it is a graft, but yeah, check this out. Mandy took it off.
Look
I
at
wanna-
those points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool, huh? See a little bit of gap, and I've heard that can cause an issue.
Well, just put some glue on there.
Yeah, we'll find out. Keep an eye on it, but it seems healthy. Seems like it's doing well. So yeah. And this is the plant you gave me years ago.
Oh wow,
God,
it grew a lot.
Yeah, so JT gave me this years ago, and it was just this one. This was like literally 2 years ago. It took 2 years before it produced another one, and another half year until it got this guy just now. This is ZZ Raven. It's beautiful. Just they like don't grow, and then all of a sudden like that they explode. They're kind of like tubers for roots, so I think that's why they're like building up that root structure, and then they explode.
Yeah, and you can't see the root structure growing, but it's like a.
This pink oyster mushroom split did not go well, I don't think. I think this is contaminated and just dead. It was too dry, probably.
Yeah.
So, didn't work. That's okay. And yeah, I think that's all we got, right? Oh, you're missing Sonny. I think that's what you're going for, right?
Yeah. Where is he?
Here. It looks like you're pointing at him, but now you just got the drums. Oh, there you go. Oh, missed it. Now you're looking at my shoes.
What?
They're right.
I'm not even moving.
All right. Well, let's. I think we're.
The fish are doing well.
Fish are doing great, and yeah, I think that's about every. Oh yeah. Oh, you want me to switch back over there? Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah.
They're doing really good. I've been really excited to see how well they're doing. Happy little dynamic. Definitely probably not a lot of shrimp in there anymore. Although I'm willing to bet if we took those angels out, a lot of shrimp would come out of the woodworks. There's a lot of hiding spots in there.
Oh, did you get new shrimp in that tank? Because I saw like a green one.
Really?
A green and black one in the pleco tank.
In the pleco tank?
Yeah.
Just now?
Yeah, earlier.
Really? There's still some shrimp in there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good for them. I got to get those plecos out. We got the new pleco tank coming in, set up over there.
Oh yeah. I saw you in the-
Plecoponics. So, yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I think that's about all we got. Do we want to call it? Say, give a glockenspiel and sign off?
Yeah.
And so we got some algae, we got some blackworms, and rooted plants and oyster mushrooms to eat. And yeah, until next week, I guess. Thank you, everyone.
And yeah, don't put worms in your brain
Don't put worms. Unless you want to run the government.
I mean, it couldn't hurt. Well, it could hurt actually. It might hurt. Well, no, you can't feel your brain.
I feel bad, outside of politics, I feel like, imagine having to deal with something like that, like, and then to have become like a reason for people to dismiss you. That stinks.
Yeah, but how did you get them? What did you do to get that?
Oh,
You know
Bad
how you
luck.
get raccoon roundworm, which is so raccoon roundworm, Bacillus ascaris loader, I think.
Wow.
I think.
wow.
Look,
No.
it's something similar. To
What is, if you got that, Lotor is, Procyon loader is raccoon. We're not nerds. It is the scientific name of raccoon roundworm. Balis scarius procyanus.
That.
Balasascaris.
As kind of part of. So,
All right.
all right. Well, you get it by consuming raccoon poop
Well,
that
I
has the
mean,
eggs in it.
yeah, or just like, I mean, you don't necessarily need to eat like a chunk of raccoon poop, but like, it
But-
comes from raccoon poop, right?
But you have to eat it.
Somehow,
To get-
basically, ate a small piece of raccoon feces to get raccoon roundworm. Is that what?
I don't know if that's the one that he had.
That's a
But-
bad one to get. I've heard.
Yeah, you shouldn't eat raccoon poop.
Yeah, don't eat raccoon poop. It's not good for you. Until next week, live by that wisdom.
Don't eat raccoon poop.
Yeah. That was a really good point to end. Goodbye, everyone.